Which is better, India's #1 off-roader, the Mahindra Scorpio or Toyota Fortuner, one of the most formidable, popular cars around the world? Which is better? We're going to tell you today. In today's review, we're going to have a comprehensive comparison between the 2024 Toyota Fortuner Crusade, the top of the range, versus this, the Mahindra Scorpio Z8L. Both are top of the range, but both have very different prices. This one here will set you back 72,500 Australian dollars on the road, and the Mahindra Scorpio, that'll set you back 45,990. So what do you get for almost $30,000 more with a Toyota Fortuner? And should you be going and spending that extra cash for something like this, or just go for a Mahindra Scorpio? Let's talk about that.
Let's find out.
Alrighty, Daddy Jacob. Let's talk about the looks of the Fortuner.
Yeah.
Look,
It's pretty old school.
it's a little old school. It's a bit older Toyota now. This is the one complaint, and big complaint I've had now for years of the Fortuner, which is that it's just feeling long in the tooth. It's been on sale now for quite a long time. And yeah, they've facelifted it a little bit, but I don't know. This is the Crusade, so top of the range. Means you get these LED lights here, cool daytime running light, got LED turn signals, big open grille there. You've also got this, it's a radar. And unfortunately, the Mahindra Scorpio, it does not have that. In fact, it recently received a 0-star ANCAP safety rating though. To be honest, I think it's a little bit unfair. And if you want to learn more about that, you can watch our long-term review of the Scorpio where we lived with that car when that rating came out. So that was quite interesting. Down the bottom, you have a steel bash plate as well. So yes, this is very much an off-roader. It comes with a 4x4 system, but we'll come back to that a bit later. What about the Scorpio?
Dude, I think it looks really good from the front.
I think it looks really good. Look, I'm not going to say it's the most stunning vehicle in the world. It is quite boxy, but that's very in vogue at the moment. Again, you get these LED lights here with some sequential indicators. It's a very premium feature. Got a big grille there, the Mahindra Twin Peaks badge there. And quite interestingly, it actually looks like significantly smaller than a Toyota Fortuner, but it's actually only 100 millimeters shorter. It's actually got a slightly longer wheelbase though, so the wheels are a bit further out. And it's about as wide and definitely taller. So quite interesting. Like, it looks smaller, but actually with side by side, it actually looks bigger.
Yeah, we 100% thought the Fortuner's wheelbase was bigger.
Yeah, an interesting thing. But Jacob, let's talk about the side.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, let's talk about the side now of the Scorpio. Get these 18-inch wheels here. They're alloys, of course. Weirdly, you have to step up to the Crusade variant of the Fortuner to get 18-inch wheels as well. These are wrapped in Apollo tires. They're okay, but I think I prefer the tires that come as standard on the Fortuner. They just seem to have a bit more grip to them. No 360 camera here on the Scorpio, which is a shame. You do get that on the Fortuner, though I'll be totally honest with you, it's so bad that it's almost useless. For both the Scorpio here and the Fortuner, you get keyless entry and go. The Scorpio actually comes with metal side steps, while the Fortuner is plastic. There's a bit of to and fro whether or not you like plastic or metal, because plastic, it can crack, but metal, it will bend. So
it's up to you.
Yeah.
What do you prefer, cracking or bending?
What's your poison? Speaking of poison, you got a scorpion. You got a little scorpion tail. Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Cool.
And then you can, set yourself up there, lol. Roof racks, 2. This one's kitted out with some optional extras like these. But otherwise, the Scorpio is big and boxy. To be honest, I actually think I prefer the side of the Fortuner. It's just a bit sleeker. I like the really tinted privacy glass you get on that too. Whereas this doesn't come with it. Apparently in India, you're not allowed to have tinted windows, and that's possibly why, but it's not illegal here, so they could apply it here.
Let's be real. Yeah. There are definitely some tinted Fortuners in India.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's check out the bum. And then coming to the bum, Jacob, what do you think?
Oh, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of this style of boot, as you know.
We'll come back to that though. In terms of looks, I really like it. You got this 3D effect tail light here. Again, sequential indicators. You just don't see that. It's like an optional extra on Audis, so it's funny that it's here. Scorpio badge there. Actually in India, its home market, it's called the Scorpio-N, so like Scorpion. You got the Twin Peaks badge there again. Down the bottom is a full-size spare wheel, and you've also got an exhaust, and don't worry, we will do an exhaust comparison in a second. But the Fortuner, I'll be honest with you,
holy crap, man, it's so windy.
It's so windy. I don't know why the gods do this every time we film. The Fortuner here, I just think it looks, I don't know if it looks better, but it looks more elegant, I would say.
I think it looks better from the back, I'll be honest.
I really like the tail lights here. Again, you've got LED turn signals. It's got a pretty massive roof spoiler there too. Toyota badge, Fortuner, spelt out proudly too. Also got the Crusade badge there. You don't often see that anymore. It's a bit of an older school touch to have the model name on the back. And then you've also got a full-size spare wheel and exhaust tips there, Jacob. Let's see what they sound like. And I want you guys to let us know down in the comment section, which do you think sounds better? Let's start with the Scorpio. sometimes you shouldn't copy homework. So first of all, power tailgate here on the Fortuner, but check this out. It's still opening, it's still opening, it's still opening, it's done.
That takes a while.
It takes so long, it's so unnecessary. But with the third row up, you actually get 200 litres of boot space, which is relatively good. The fun thing about this, man, the thing that just grinds my gears is when you put these seats up, right? Which sure, it's easy to do. You can put up the seats quickly, easily, no one's too upset, except you get huge like warts, growths on the side of this car. It just is such dumb packaging that it doesn't go into the floor like you'll find in a Ford Everest. And it means that you only get 719 litres of boot space. The depth is fine, the height is fine, the width, it's just so silly.
Yeah, I mean, just have a look at Matt trying to sit in there.
It's not normal. You can, of course, drop the second row and you get more space, but it's one of the worst in the class, kind of, because this isn't really that great. When you've got the third row up, you literally get like almost no room. You can maybe get a backpack back there, and that is about it. When you drop the third row, then you get a huge hump in the floor. You can, of course, lift this up, but then you get a huge hump in the floor. So it takes up a lot of space. Mahindra say that this is 759 litres of boot space.
I don't see that.
I struggle to see that. So to be honest, the boot back here is worse. You can drop the second row and then yes, you get a flat-ish area, but it's not a good story. The practicality back here is not great. The other thing that it's not great for is towing. This thing has a brake towing capacity of 2.5 tons, which is fine, but the Fortuner and other class leaders in this area, they're 3.5 tons. So that isn't great either. But really, Jacob, that's one of the only major losses for the Scorpio. Let's check out the interior because that's where it blows my mind.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, Jacob. Let's talk about the interior now of the Scorpio. Actually, before we do, I want to give a quick shout out to us, CarSauce.com/buy. We have launched our car buying service. Not only will we get you the absolute best price on your next car, we will negotiate with the dealers, actually making them fight to get you the best price because we take a fixed commission from them no matter what you pay. So that's fantastic. And we can actually find cars in stock and ship them exactly to you. So make sure you check out CarSauce.com/buy if you want to buy the Scorpio or the Fortuner or any car. Jacob, let's talk about the interior now. It's really nice. This is like, every time I get back in here, I'm just like, I remember why I like this so much. You've got this really cool faux leather here. It's nice soft touch. This is all scratchy, sure. But in the places that you touch, it feels fantastic. Down to the steering wheel, like it just feels nice to hold on to. Even though, again, it's faux leather, you wouldn't even know. It feels very good. Technology is also, as you'll see, better than in the Fortuner by quite some margin. So in the center, you actually get this pretty functional digital instrument cluster. Shows a bunch of stuff in there. You've also got analog gauges if you prefer that anyway. It's just fantastic. It's very customizable. The screen here, no, it's not the biggest, but it's relatively color accurate. It's bright enough and just very functional to use. It's got wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both of which work very well. You've also got your physical buttons for your media and also your air conditioning controls, which, by the way, the Fortuner has amazing aircon, but this is like
next level.
Yeah, it's rivaling, if not exceeding a little bit. It blows freezing cold air if you want it to. So yeah, it gets hot in India. Here you have a couple of USB-A ports and a wireless charger. Again, don't get that in the Fortuner.
No, you just get a really small phone storage holder.
That doesn't really hold a phone. Here in the center, you have your drive mode selector for your off-road modes. You've also got 4 high, 4 low. Now this is a part-time four-wheel drive, so it sends power to the rear in pretty much all circumstances until you need four-wheel drive. Then when you're off-road, you can access these. It does have a locking rear diff, but it's an automatic locking rear diff, an Eaton locking rear diff. So I would prefer it if it was a locking rear diff that you could lock yourself, but it still works. And Jacob, you took this thing off-road in India.
Dude, this thing is insane off-road.
It's insane off-road.
Go watch that video if you're interested.
It's pretty wild. The other good thing before we get into the worst thing about the Scorpio is the seats. They're really comfortable. Here on the driver's side, they are automatically adjusting. They're not real leather again because cows are actually treated as sacred animals in India by a lot of the population, so they don't usually use leather product, but it's really nice, very supportive, nice and comfortable, no heating or cooling, which does kind of suck, but again, it's $45,990 drive away. So what do you expect?
Let's not forget that.
Oh, sunroof too. Don't get that in the Fortuner. The issue with this interior, and it bugged us over the 3 months we had with this exact car, is the lack of like storage and practicality. So there's one cup holder, guys. That's unbelievably annoying, let me tell you.
Insane.
Often I'll have a coffee cup, or maybe I'll have yesterday's coffee cup. And then what? You know, where do I put my other cup? In the door? Well, no, it'll start to leak. It's just not good. Here you have pretty small glove box as well. It does have an aircon vent, but it's still small. The door bins are also relatively small too. The center armrest is tiny. There's like no storage space in there. So I think that the packaging could definitely be a lot better for such a big car. It is a big car at the end of the day, and there really isn't that much storage space, at least up front. But otherwise, that's my biggest complaint. Oh, shout out to the Sony sound system.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty awesome. I love the speakers up here in the roof. It's a nice place to be. In a lot of ways, it feels nicer than the Fortuner, but you'll see that in a second. In fact, let's talk about that.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, Jacob. Interior now of the Fortuner. Now, again, we have the top spec of the Fortuner. We have done a review of the grade below, the GXL.
Wouldn't recommend watching that video if you're a Toyota fanboy.
Yeah, if you're a Toyota fanboy, you're not going to like that video. When I got into here, I was like, the Crusade is actually quite nice. You've got this faux leather here. It does feel quite good. It doesn't just feel like terrible cheap plastics. This is all scratchy plastics, but that's nice and soft. Even here is nice and soft. This is, of course, the Crusade, which means that you get these leather seats. But I'll be totally honest with you, man. They feel like vinyl, like not real leather, even though they are real leather. The leather, the fake leather in there feels more like leather to me than these seats.
That's a big call, but I actually agree.
And the Ford Everest is the same. It's just like maybe it's a harder wearing material. It just doesn't feel that great. The thing I've immediately loved compared to the Scorpio is the storage. It's just so much better. So 2 cup holders here under this wood grain finish. Feels very nice. You've got dual glove box here. You've also got cup holders in the dash that you can hide away on both sides. So yes, 4 cup holders up here.
That's 4 times as many as the Scorpio.
You really do feel that as well. And the storage space in the center armrest is nice. It's nice and soft there. A real handbrake as well. It's nice and leather. And of course, this leather steering wheel, which again feels actually quite hard. I prefer the steering wheel in there. And then you've also got this wood grain here, which is quite dumb. I found out more than once that this is grippy. Grab onto that.
Good luck.
Your hand slips. It's happened to me more than once. It's actually quite annoying.
It's not a bloody Lexus, you know?
Well, I don't know, man. I feel like they're trying to be. But is it almost $30,000 nicer on the inside? No. Not at all. Up in front of you, the instrument cluster is the old analog style, like even down to the blue gauges, which I quite like, but they definitely feel their age. You get a small screen in the center that does show enough information, but even it lags, and it's got the easiest job in the world as far as screens go. You got this very old screen here now. These have been around since like 2015. It's slow, it's laggy. They've definitely updated the processor because it's not as bad as it was before. Like the maps are actually quite responsive now, but it's still really not that great. The air conditioning controls though, they're fantastic. They work really, really well. Again, old school touches here. So your heated seat buttons here, they're just a button. Like at least it gets it versus a Scorpio, but it's a single stage and that just feels really old school. You've got a USB-A port and a 12-volt socket, but that's it for I/O up front, which is really not enough. You've got your drive mode selectors here as well, Eco, Normal, and Sport. Again, they're separate buttons, which feels old school. But you've also got your locking rear diff button here. So like I said, this thing is also a part-time four-wheel drive. It sends power to the rear and you can change that through here, just like the Scorpio. But better than the Scorpio, it has a manually locking rear differential, which is just better when you have control over it. Here's a double-edged sword. The bloody JBL sound system, Jacob.
It's actually pretty good.
Sounds great, don't get me wrong, but there is a constant reflection in the windscreen. I constantly see this like bright silver thing in the windscreen. It's really distracting. I've noticed it quite a lot. So that's been annoying. Otherwise, seat comfort, by the way, is very good. Like it's actually very good, very comfy. Not gonna say they're the most inspiring seats in the world. I don't love the material feel, but it's okay.
And I mean, in terms of other comfort, you don't really get much.
No.
You don't get lumbar support.
No.
You don't get sunroof.
No. Yeah, it is feeling a little bit lacking. Alrighty, let's check out the back seats. Alrighty, Daddy Jacob, let's talk about the back seats.
You look pretty high up there.
I feel pretty high up. So it has stadium style seating, so the back seats are higher than the front seats, so I've got a good view out. Heaps of leg room, toe room is fantastic. Headroom is also really, really good. The amenities are like surprisingly fantastic in the back as well. So 12-volt socket, which I don't generally love because you always need an adapter, little phone storage area here. What I do love is the household socket in the back.
Yeah,
So
fast charging, baby.
fast charge, you just bring your own charger and then you can get really fast charging. It's 100 watts, so the engine has an inverter. That's fantastic. You've got a couple of carry hooks here. You've also got map pockets. You've also got a fan speed controller back here, which you can leave on auto, and some vents in the roof. So as far as back seats go, it is quite nice. Again, the same like real leather that doesn't really feel fantastic in the back. You've also got this pull down center armrest with a couple of cup holders.
Very over-engineered.
Scorpio, you could learn something from that. It's a nice place to be. And that extends to the third row. I can get in pretty easily at 5'11". I've actually got like okay amount of leg room. Toe room is okay and headroom isn't great, to be totally fair. My head is touching the roof. However, I can fit back there, and a lot of adults actually will be able to fit back there. You've also got air vents in the roof, which is great. No other amenities, but as far as like a third row, it's better than a Ford Everest, for example.
It definitely is adequate.
Yeah, it's adequate. But how does the back seats of the Scorpio, which are very different, how do they compare? Let's
do
it. Alrighty, Jacob.
Wow, this is a bit of a change of scenery.
This is very different, isn't it? So we have captain's chairs. In fact, this is a 6-seater, whereas that Fortuner is a 7-seater. So at 5'11", I've just got heaps of leg room. Toe room is fantastic. Headroom is great too. My legs are at an amazing angle. I've got this armrest here because I'm the captain. The seats, again, they just feel like more real leather to me than the other ones. I don't know why. You got your fan speed controller here, a USB-C fast charger. Only one though, which does kind of suck. You do have map pockets with a little phone holder in there. A couple of air vents there too. Look, man, I'm not gonna lie. I, generally speaking, much prefer captain's chairs than I do a bench seat. So if you are like most people and only travel with a maximum of 4 people in the car, generally speaking anyway, you're gonna love it back here. There is, of course, a third row. It is easier to get into the third row thanks to the captain's chairs. You go straight through the middle. However, space isn't great. So again, 5'11", I really don't have much leg room. In fact, there's pretty much none. Toe room is okay. Headroom is a lot better than the Fortuner, to be fair. But there are no air vents back there either, so on a hot day, it could get quite hot back there.
Yeah, not fun.
So it's okay. Kids will be fine back there, but adults, not so much. But Jacob, the ultimate test
Of any off-road family 7-seat SUV.
6-seat in this instance.
6.
How does it perform in a 0 to 100 kilometer launch? Let's test it, baby.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, friend. It's time to launch
The Daddy Scorpio.
the Daddy Scorpio. We're going to do this one first, then we'll do the Fortuner. Oh, I love that. I love that about this. So we've got the foot on the brake.
Don't you love these comparison videos? You get to do more launches.
Brake boosting. You're going to fist me. Here we go, daddies.
Bit of torque.
Oh, come
Keep
on.
going.
Come on!
All right, we've reached 60. Is that a Leighton Hewitt? Come on. Get there.
You let me down. 0 to 100 in 12.03 seconds.
No comment.
All right, let's launch the Fortuner.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, Daddy Jacob.
That was kind of musical.
It's time to launch the Fortuner. How will it go compared to the Scorpio?
So surely it'll do better.
Put the car into, sport mode. Put the transmission into sport mode. Brake booster. Fist me good.
Let's do this. Bit
Oh!
of traction off the line. Come on.
Come on. All right.
Oh, that's a slightly better 0
So
to
that's
60.
slightly better.
Slightly better.
Okay, come on.
Almost
Come on, Daddy.
torque.
Oh! Not as much, not as, I thought it would do a lot better. 0 to 100 in 10.15 seconds. So, okay, 2 seconds faster.
No.
It's like
it didn't feel that much faster, I'll be honest.
I'm kind of surprised by that.
Yeah.
All right, let's drive the Scorpio.
Okay.
Alrighty, Daddy Jacob.
It's Scorpio time.
Back in the long-term Scorpio.
The same one we had.
It's been a little while.
Yeah, I missed it.
Surprised they've still got it on the floor.
Can you hear that?
They seem to have added roof racks.
That was the first thing I noticed when I got in here.
Have a tendency to scream. It's really...
They're just squealing the whole time you drive.
Oh,
It's very annoying.
yeah, that's not great. Anyway, let's talk about everything else. So, same engine, 2.2 litre M-Hawk.
The classic.
Turbo diesel. It's at 129 kilowatt of power, 400 newton meters of torque. Put your foot down. Power gets sent to the rear wheels when you're not in four-wheel drive, and you can't drive this thing as four-wheel drive on a sealed surface
Or at
like
least
this.
you shouldn't.
No, you definitely shouldn't. Same with the Fortuner though, but we'll come back to that. Look, this is the benchmark. We've driven this thing for months, quite literally, and wow.
I've driven this thing in India, bro.
You
I
have?
can tell you, it eats those roads alive.
To be honest, like, it's really comfortable.
So comfy.
I will never get over the Aussie suspension tune on this. It just makes it so easy to live with.
It really doesn't feel like a ladder frame car.
No.
You know, whereas the Fortuner, I guess they'll see.
Well, you'll see that in a second.
Oh, God.
Always shocked by the handling of this thing. It does have a shorter wheelbase than a lot of
Yes.
other competitors in the class, so I think that does help with some of this handling. Like,
Yeah.
there's minimal body roll, which is always strange to me. Steering is really light.
Well, that was a bit strange.
Yeah,
Do you want to try that again?
Yeah,
That was a bit weird.
I will when there isn't a truck coming the other way. It sounded like we kind of...
Ooh.
Oh, that's ABS.
Ah, you silly
Yes.
boy.
I forgot. Okay, I should say it's actually the stability control activating the ABS. So you
go.
actually drove this thing when you were in India testing out the ABS. Like, they do a lot of testing for it.
Yeah, they have this strip of road that basically has no friction.
Yeah.
So when you brake, you do not slow down. It's the weirdest experience. But that's how they test out the ABS systems. And yeah, this is pretty good.
Interestingly, this has a 6-speed Asian source transmission, which is a company owned by Toyota. And it's actually, I'm pretty sure it's the exact same transmission as what you'll find in the Fortuner. And the calibration is fine. Like, it just, you know, you don't really notice it. Like, it's not mind-blowing. It's not terrible.
Who cares about the transmission in this? I mean, it doesn't really matter. When you're on the highway, cruising at 110, you can't hear the engine. That's the main thing.
100%.
Oh,
The handling of this is like
it
shocking.
should be body rolling more than it is.
It's shocking to me. It actually drives so well. This is
So
the
it's
thing.
so high up.
Every time I get back in this, I'm just like, wow, you know, like this thing drives really well. Like they've paid a lot of attention. It's not boring to drive either.
And bro, this thing is under 50 grand drive away.
It's well under 50 grand drive weight. It's 30 grand less than the Fortuner. But again, we'll come back to the Fortuner in a second. I guess the thing this does miss out on, and it is a miss, is any of the active safety tech. There's no autonomous emergency braking. It's got dumb cruise control. There's no lane centering of any sort. To be fair, all of that is coming. It will come in an update probably later in the year.
And with a price increase, no doubt.
No doubt. And a lot of people don't like it anyway. Like,
No.
people complain about it non-stop.
We complain about it non-stop. Like, some of these safety systems are so intrusive nowadays. It kind of is a breath of fresh air to get into a car that doesn't feel the need to drive for you.
And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I think that the 0-star is kind of unfair, the 0-star anchor.
Yeah, we did go into more depth in our long-term review, so maybe check that out. But
Yeah.
in short, it is.
Oh, tickle me. Saucy corner, how will it go? Let's go, baby.
Oh, who cares about 0-star when you're going out saucy corner?
I'm not going to say it's the most torquey engine in the world. Like, it's fine. It's not like going to blow your little socks off.
Come on.
Hairpin number 1. Oh my God, the handling is so good. Oh.
Bit of ABS there.
Yeah.
I think you took the corner a bit too racing-like.
I just think it's overzealous
Come on.
stability control.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember it bogging down that hard last time we came up.
I do.
Really?
Yeah, it's got a very overactive ESC, and I think I said that a couple of times. It's not like a terrible thing, and you'd probably rather have it than not. But
Don't expect to track this thing.
I'll tell you what, though, fuel economy. Let's
Bloody
check that
good.
out. Look at this. Look at this. Right, 12.7 kilometers per liter. Do you know what that is in liters per 100 kilometers?
I do, because we calculated it before filming.
Bro, you're breaking the fourth wall here.
7.8.
That is unreal.
That's really good.
Because you've been driving it this week.
I know, and I'm not the most light-footed.
You're a schmeckle. That's what you are. All right, Jacob. I think that's enough talking about the Scorpio. Let's
Time to change our fortunes.
let's fortune this bitch.
All right.
Alrighty, friend. Driving the Fortuner.
The bloody Toyota Fortuner
India's
Crusade.
Mafia car, apparently. Let's put our foot down.
Do you feel like a mafiosa?
Okay. Instantly, definitely notice the extra power and torque of this. So it's a bigger engine, 2.8 litre, 4-cylinder turbo diesel
More
engine.
displacement.
Quite a lot more displacement. Puts out 150 kilowatt of power, 500 newton meters of torque. Again, 6-speed Asian. Put your foot down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you feel that speed quite a lot more, and you feel it's got more pulling power, and that makes sense. But keeping in mind that this is like more than $25,000 more on the road, I don't feel right now driving this that it feels that much more.
No, I mean, yeah, you do get that more powerful engine, but dude, I'm telling you, like, we're about to go around the first corner.
The body roll is significantly worse.
So much more, and it just really feels a lot more unsettled on the road.
It does,
You know?
and this steering as well, it feels a lot heavier, but not necessarily in a good way, in a way that just
it's not
feels like,
direct.
it just feels kind of cumbersome. It's heavy, it's really heavy. And
Yeah.
in here in the Crusade, we have drive modes, we have sport mode, but it doesn't seem to do anything to the steering, because
What does it even do?
it's hydraulic. I think it just literally changes the throttle mapping.
Oh yeah, there you go. You get more revs more quick.
Yeah, and look, it is a lot faster. There is no doubt in my mind. And they weigh about the same. This is 50 kilograms heavier at 2,190 kilograms, whereas that's 2,140 kilograms. But because of that extra wheelbase, which, to be fair, gives you more space inside, it just doesn't drive as well. It's not even more softly sprung. It's just like
less stable.
Less stable, yes,
Yeah.
correct. It doesn't feel more comfortable. It just feels like there's more body roll.
Yeah,
which
I
is
completely
weird.
agree, man. And I mean, for something that's $25,000 more expensive, it doesn't drive like it's $25,000 more expensive.
It drives like I would expect a mid-2000s body-on-frame SUV like this to drive,
Yeah.
but not like up to the level of even the Ford Everest, which is my current long-term. And I made a review of that, and you can go watch that below. But even turning these corners, like little adjustments don't really do much. And then
Oh my God.
it's really quickly to over-adjust.
It just unsettles the mass so easily. Oh my God. Okay, it is a lot faster though,
It's a lot faster,
especially up these hills. Oh God.
but it's not necessarily faster around a corner, you know what I mean?
No, and that's where that extra handling comes in. I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like the Scorpio, for a body-on-frame car, just drives so damn well.
It does. It really does. And I think that's a testament to its Australian suspension tuning. Whereas, you know, let's be honest about the Fortuner. It's a car that's like seen as the top car you can buy in these developing markets like Thailand, Philippines, India. And so I just feel like Toyota really rested on their laurels.
Yeah.
It feels old in here. I'm slipping and sliding around the seats. I'm sure it's like relatively capable off-road, but there are more capable off-roaders now. It's just a bit of a status symbol, and it's selling so well in these markets because of that, not necessarily because it's actually that good.
No, 100%. I think it's just that badge.
Let's see how it goes up. Saucy corner though.
I'm scared. I'm genuinely scared.
Oh, brake boosting it again. Here we go. Oh, sport mode. Sport mode.
Oh! That was a proper launch.
Look, it's still a diesel
on.
ute though, you know. It's not like, it's not going to tickle your pickle.
It's not a Toyota Supra.
In the greatest ways.
Oh God. Oh God.
At least the stability control
Ooh.
isn't turning on. Hey, that was all right. Pulled
was
us out of
pretty
that
good.
corner pretty well.
It's not bogging down as much. It's definitely. Oh.
I'll tell you what, this is really annoying me. Because like I'm gripping on here and then I turn it and then all of a sudden my
yeah.
hand just like accelerates because there's no grip to it.
Yeah. Look, it's not the best use case for the Fortuner.
The other thing I actually hate about
I feel like
this,
we've been so negative, bro.
I know, we have been. But to be honest, we were negative in our last review because
Yeah.
it is old and it just feels like an old product. Okay, this is what I don't like. The lane departure warning. So when you're driving down the highway, yes, it'll keep you at a good distance from the car in front of you because it has adaptive cruise control. But if you stray out of the lane for whatever reason, instead of pulling you back in, it literally will just brake the car. And that just does my head in.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, we've driven other cars that have that, so it's not like
No,
the
but
worst we've ever seen.
It's old. It's just old tech.
It is.
And
It
that's
is.
the point of this, is it just feels old. They really need to update this. And I think when they do, they'll make a killer product because
Oh,
they're
yeah.
Toyota. But like,
Literally, the Mafia will eat it up.
the Mafia will end up. But until then, you know, for 25 grand less, it's really hard to get over the Scorpio.
Oh man, that thing is just amazing compared to this for the price.
Anyway, let's get into our final thoughts.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, Daddy Jacob. Final thoughts. The comparison. The ultimate comparison, some might say.
I think they already know what we're gonna say.
Look, I think in a lot of ways, the Toyota Fortuner does come... I can't do it. The Mahindra Scorpio, it's 30 grand cheaper almost. It comes with pretty much everything you need. It's arguably more capable off-road from the time we've spent behind the wheel of both of these. Sure, the interior has some weird quirks to it, like what the hell is with the one cup holder?
And what's with the bloody stop-start system?
What's with the stop-start system? Having said that, you just get such a complete package that I couldn't justify spending an extra 30 grand. Sure, you can go for a base model of one of these, but it's still gonna cost you in the 50,000s of dollars, and it's very, very basic. So 100%, I can't not give the win.
100% agree. I think the Scorpio wins in this comparison. However, I can see the Fortuner winning if you're safety conscious.
Let us know what you guys think though. Which are you taking? The Mahindra Scorpio or the Toyota Fortuner?
Ciao for now.